Hello art friends, Melisa here. I'm back today with a fun paper doll art journaling layout using the HOLTZ Ideology paper dolls. I'm also going to share another resist technique. Last time I did it with embossing powder and distress inks. Today I'll show you how to do it with gesso and a glaze. I'll link you to the other video in the description box below. Just click on Show More to expand the description box. I start by layering stencils and then I tap on some gesso with a foam brush. The gesso is white and difficult to see on the white page. I keep lifting the pages to try and visualize where I had added it before applying more. I didn't plan where the grass line would be, and the blue was showing through the tissue paper, so I applied a couple of coats of gesso. If you don't have tissue paper to use for your grass, then consider paint, pattern paper, or book paper. After I finished trimming the tissue paper, I started designing some little houses for my paper dolls. I used some journal prompt paper embellishments that are designed for scrapbooking to create the houses. I'll also use one a little later in the video to create my journal strips. I cut 3 rectangles to create the bases of the houses, then cut 3 triangles from 6x6 pattern paper pads to create the roofs. Now I'm adding gesso to the houses. Randomly applying it to the different types of paper not only softens the patterns, but also helps them coordinate better with one another. In this segment, I'm embellishing my houses using book paper. I didn't realize how far out of the camera frame I was, so I'm skipping a lot of the video footage. But you'll be able to see the results in the following section. I doodled and trimmed a scalloped roof edge and doors, and I punched a heart, butterfly, and circle elements for the roofs. I used another card from the journal set I mentioned earlier to create my word strips. Now that I have all my pieces trimmed, I was ready to start gluing them down. Then I remembered I wanted to add some texture to the background with a stamp before doing this. So I had to put the brakes on gluing my little neighborhood down until I had added the stamping. I have no idea who this particular stamp is made by, but I love it because it's easy for me to get a random look by shaping it around my fingers and only stamping part of the image. I finished gluing down my houses and then decided to ink the edges of the word strips before adhering them down. After that, you'll see me use my Stabilo All water-soluble pencil to define the edges of the houses. cute little thin stencil at Michael's. It was part of a 3 stencil set by Folk Art called Garden. The fence was a little taller than I needed, so I stenciled the bottom third, then moved the stencil down and stenciled the top third, making my fence shorter. I tried using a marker, but that was going to take too long and I could see the lines. Alright, so that wraps up today's project. If you'd like to see all of my stencil technique videos, click on the playlist that pops up at the end of this video. Thanks so much for stopping by, and if you like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps and encourages me to keep creating videos. If you're inspired by this project to create an art journal entry of your own, post it on Instagram and use this hashtag. I know it's a long hashtag, but it will pop up way before you finish typing it all in. The hashtag enables me to find your project. See you next time!